All right. So, Deborah, will you just start out and tell us your name and your position at your school?
Yes, of course. Good morning, everyone. I'm Mrs. Dimon, and I'm the Wraparound Resource Specialist here at Northside High School, and I provide resources and services for families and students.
Perfect. Okay. So let's just start with the first one. Why are these school pantry resources important to have for students and families?
Well, the food and resources are very important to have for families because there may be families, or I should say students, that may have not eaten the night before or even days before. So I think it's just very important for students and families to feel comfortable and have a place where they can come and pick up food, or students can take the resources or the food home after school. And also, it's important to have it on campus because it needs to be within walking distance, because we may have families that may not have cars to get here. So I just think it's very important to have the resources ready and available. And then also, we don't want any students to, like I said, not feel comfortable in coming to school to pick up those resources or embarrassed. So it's very important to know the people that they're picking up the resources from.
Awesome. That was great. So what, and I kind of mentioned we're more interested in stories and testimonials versus like data, but
Right.
so what impact have you seen on students and families who've received these products?
Oh, wow. I've actually seen a lot of impact because I've had families even reach out to me, basically saying or thanking me, letting me know that their child probably would not have eaten that night if we had not provided the resources to the students. And so I do know that it is a helping, it is an impact. And if students are coming to school hungry, then they can't focus in the classroom. And that's exactly what we don't want. So we want to make sure that students and their families are able to eat at night and every day.
That's great. So in your experience, are there any personal stories or experiences with students that you want to share? Any stories about that for any particular children or families?
Yes, as a matter of fact, I have this young man who came to my office to volunteer with another group of students. And when he came into the office, he was like, "Oh, what do you do here? What are all these things? What are all of these resources?" And so I started to explain to him, and I was so happy that he asked because he was one of the students that I noticed walking around campus. He would be just like a little sluggish, not as talkative, or just really, really quiet. And I've seen him in other areas of the school as well. So when he asked, I was just so excited that he wanted to know what was going on, and I explained to him exactly what I do. This is the reason why I'm here on campus. And when I told him that, then later on he started coming to my office, talking more, even picking up food to take home after school. And so I was so just elated that he would even do that, because this is high school and some students are very embarrassed to take food home, but he's one of the students that is not embarrassed. And then his mom even contacted me as well, thanking me, saying how her child was very excited that I have these resources on campus. And I told her, gave her more information of what I do as well. And so I mean, they reach out all the time, and I check on the family to make sure that they're doing well. And he's more active, engaged, and he even joined the driver's ed program after school that I implemented on campus. So, I mean, it's making a huge impact. It really is.
I love to hear that. That's wonderful, isn't it? Don't you wish? Because I know kiddos are so embarrassed around, like in general, like as
Yeah,
teenagers, they're just
girl.
embarrassed all the time. And so it's so wonderful when you are able to reach out and get the resources in the hands of students and to overcome the barrier of that, because it's
Exactly.
not something that they're, want to everyone to know that they're asking for, help. So it's a wonderful thing where we so appreciate the pantry program. Did you want to say anything about what the program means to you personally, just on a personal level?
Oh, of course. It means so much to me on a personal level because I know what it feels like not to eat to miss a meal or not have enough food on the table, being provided for the family. As a child, I grew up to where my parents had to maybe reach out at a time or two. You never know what people are going through. It doesn't matter what the reason is, just at some point, sometimes people may need that little extra push or that extra assistance. So it's just very important. And with that being said, pre-pandemic, I created a food pantry here on campus to provide food to make sure that the families and the students had resources right here on campus, because I know, again, what it feels like not to eat or not to have enough. So, and sometimes I share my stories with students. For the students that I feel like are embarrassed, to make them feel more comfortable, let them know it's okay that you have to reach out. Everybody at some point may need some type of resource or some type of assistance. So it just means a lot to me.
That's awesome, Deborah. Thank you for sharing that.
Of course.
So I don't know if you want to run through the whole list of things. Oh, I will say, can you speak on, I had kind of followed up with this last thing about providing feminine hygiene products and why that's so important. Can you speak on that at all?
Yes, actually, I can. I have a number of girls who need hygiene products and they will come to me. And again, they have to feel comfortable. So the more the students get to know you, they will ask you for anything. And so they're not embarrassed anymore. And, I just make them feel so comfortable, and it's okay to reach out. So tell me, what do you need? So they'll come in, do you have da da da? And I'm like, how many do you need? And they'll be like, just one. No, just take this whole pack. Did you bring your backpack? Let's put this in your backpack, or let's put it in this pouch. It's okay. And if you need more, I'm here to support. And that is something we need always, all the time. And I'm just so very appreciative that we have these different resources that have been coming in from different places, or I'm just happy that the resources are out there and ready and available.
So would you say that feminine hygiene products are something that are requested a lot?
Oh, yes. Students are requesting them daily. In the past, they would go to the nurse because they really didn't know me. So now that they know that I have these things, they come to me quite often. And I just make them feel comfortable and give them what they need. So yes, it's a very high need for hygiene products, and not only personals, such as feminine products, but just any type of hygiene products. Students have been comfortable in coming to me, whether it's deodorant, soap, toothpaste, whatever the needs are. And I just try to make sure that I have those items here on campus.
That's awesome. Can you do me a favor, just so that we have a sound bite of you saying feminine hygiene products? Can you just say like something like they're important or whatever you want to say, just with like kind of a blank statement about feminine hygiene, if you don't mind?
Yes, the feminine hygiene products are very important here on campus, and to be able to have those items here on campus for students to provide those items, I'm just happy to be here to support.
Perfect. Thank you so much.
Mhm.
Do you still want to run through the rest? You've done so much. It's wonderful. So tell me, do you want to talk about like, have you noticed changes of any students and families since the pantry program started, like better attendance and this is a hard one, right? Like, have you noticed any kids like coming to class more because of these items are available? Is that anything that you've noticed or witnessed?
Actually, yes. I have noticed with one particular family. I was wondering why the student was being absent from campus or school. And so, we reach out to families when students are absent. So with this one particular family, the grandmother was telling me that the grandson was not coming to school because, they didn't have any food at home or other items as well. So then I just started to ask more questions and just try to figure out exactly what their needs were to make sure that they had the assistance that they needed for the student to come to school. And I noticed that his attendance improved. So it's just important to let them know that that is the reason why I am here. So please reach out, and I just check on them from time to time as well. And also, if I can add, this is another family as well. The grandmother had her grandson call me one night after dinner. It was around 8 o'clock or so. And she had him thank me for actually providing food for them to have that night. And when he thanked me, then she got on the phone. She was in tears. I was in tears. I'm like, oh my God. I'm so glad that I was able to be a part of or be able to give you food or have the food here on campus for you, to, for your family to eat. And that's why I'm here, because we don't want your grandson coming to school and he can't focus, and he's a senior and we wanted him to graduate. So I was there to make sure that they had exactly what they needed for the student to graduate.
That's perfect. And also, I teared up a little bit. I'm right there with you, tearing up on that. I mean, gosh, but the impact that you have and that we all have, like, that's why we're so grateful for partners like you guys, because just stories like that, helping however many kids we can, right? Like, that's the whole goal.
Mm-hmm.
So Maya, I saw you did a little mic off for a second. Did you have a follow-up?
I was just gonna say I teared up as well.
Oh yeah, I know. That's
Oh.
yeah. It's a powerful story.
Drop tears.
I know. So I don't know, the books might be I don't know if you want to talk about the books or if students are interested in receiving books. Do you want to touch on that at all? Like, have you seen well, it's hard to determine. Have you seen increases in reading levels, or like, do the kids like getting the books, or is that something you want to talk about at all?
I can share a little bit about the books if we're talking about the same books, I noticed that, well, we received some books and I issued all of the books or gifted the teachers with the books. And I know that they implement those books within the classroom. And I know one teacher for sure, she is really big on students reading books physically and not just virtually or online. So, and the students love it. They love it. So and she's always posting about them and raving and letting them know that you can learn so much through just reading books. I mean, actual physical books. It's like another world. I mean, it just brings everything to life. So yes, they have been, used here on campus.
Great. That's awesome. Sorry. You already answered that about one particular students being more engaged. So just in general, why do you think the pantries like these are important for schools and students around the nation?
You know what? I feel like these pantries and around the nation is very important to be able to provide food for these families, because no child should go without eating. For whatever reason. We never know, again, what families are going through. And we don't always need to know the reason why a family is not eating. We just need to know how to get the resources to the families and provide those services to them. Because, I mean, we never know, again, why, the reasons. And they just sometimes just need that extra pickup, that extra pick me up if they fall, and that additional resource. And again, we just don't need to know the reason why. We just need to know how to get that resource to the family to make sure that students are eating. And I'm just so thankful for all of the food pantries throughout the world that's helping and feeding families, because I know here in America, we have so much wealth. And so a child should never go without eating.
Agreed. That was very powerful. I like your approach to that. Like, I don't need to know why you don't have, you need this. I just need to know how to get it to you. So that's
get it to you.
Exactly. Yeah, that's great. Well, sorry, Samaya, go ahead.
Follow-up question to that, because that's a perfect segue into my kind of question is, people are judgmental and they see a lot of, there's a lot of stigma that goes around, being hungry and, living in poverty. What is one thing or one myth you want to break when it comes to how it looks like with your students?
Ooh, one myth I would like to break is just because you're reaching out doesn't mean that you're poor. As we know, since this pandemic has happened, there has been so many different people in need for whatever reason. They've lost their jobs. They've had great jobs. So, and I have noticed, and people are very judgmental. They may see somebody driving a nice car or whatever the reason is, and they're thinking, oh, they don't need this food. Well, you don't know if they need this food because this is probably what they had before the pandemic. And so now we have fallen on hard times. And just because we have fallen on hard times doesn't mean that you have gotten rid of all of the great things that you have acquired because you have worked. So now you need some support or a resource. And so it's okay to reach out.
That is perfect. I love that answer because I feel that on every level because people are very judgmental about, cars, people that drive and what they look like. So I think that's a perfect answer. Thank you so much for that.
Yeah, it was perfection. And I mean, like, also, what if they're living out of, like, maybe the car is the only thing they have at the moment? Like, you don't know. Yeah. So that was a wonderful answer. I mean, Deborah, you've covered so much. If there's anything else you want to share, just let me know. And if not, we can turn it over to Mr. Crook if he wants to answer a few of these questions.
Oh, I'm good. That's it. Thank you.
You did awesome. You're amazing. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Okay, Mr. Crook, you want a camera on?
Sure.
And then, so do you have the list of oh, look, your lighting's better. It's a little bit better there.
Right.
So you have the list of questions. I can run through each one if you want, or if there's just a handful that you would like to answer, you can let me know. Whatever. I can run through them if you like.
Sure.
Okay, we can do that. All right, let's start with, can you go ahead and tell us your name, title, and the school that you work at?
Yes, my name is Clayton Crook. I'm one of the assistant principals here at Northside High School.
Perfect. So, Mr. Crook, tell us why are these school pantry resources important to have for students and families?
Well, the school pantry resources are important because we serve a population of students that are severely below the poverty level. I mean, a lot of them do not have the necessities that is needed to arrive to school and be prepared for the learning. So when we're able to meet those needs, particularly the food, and where they are, coming up short at home, it definitely creates a more successful situation for students here at school. So I've seen students come to school hungry. They're asking for bottled water, almost every day. And then when we can provide those items, then again, it helps with the learning.
Perfect. What impact have you seen on students and families who receive these products?
One of the greatest impacts that I've seen, it's important for leaders and on the campus and teachers to build what we call healthy student-teacher, student and administrator relationships. So students see us beyond just being an administrator or teacher when we're able to provide things that they need, whether it's food or water or any type of products that they need to meet their needs. So that is really important in terms of building those relationships, because what it's all about at the end of the day is trust. It's getting students to trust you, particularly the large population of students that we have living below the poverty level. They don't have a whole lot of people that they can trust. So when you can build that relationship with them, because you're helping them meet their basic needs, it's tremendously impactful.
Oh, that's a great answer. Since the pantry program has been implemented, are there any students or any particular students that you can recall that you have established a closer relationship with because of that? I mean, I didn't know if there's any particular instances you want to talk about.
Well, actually, there's quite a few that I could talk about. Particularly, there's these two brothers that attend school here, and of course, I can't say their names, but they struggle with quite a bit outside of school. They struggle with hygiene. They struggle with coming to school hungry. and meeting them the first semester, and then being able to meet those needs for them, you see a complete change. They are doing better in school. The grades are going up. They like to come to school, believe it or not. School is a safe haven when you're able to provide necessities for students along with the learning. They prefer to be here than they do to be at home because they're not getting it at home. So yes, I have seen some major changes in grades, several testimonials for students that I've seen major changes in a successful way because we're able to provide those things they don't have.
That makes me so happy. Yes. I love hearing that. Makes me so just proud and excited again to partner with you guys and to be part of that. Like, it's just amazing. So thank you for that.
Yes.
What do you want to speak a little bit about what the pantry program means to you personally?
This is my 33rd year in HISD, and I'll be retiring probably next school year, midway through the school year, which will be about 34 years. I've always worked in Title I schools. And if you know anything about Title I schools, those schools receive federal funding because of the large economically disadvantaged number of students we have that we serve. And I just over the years seeing, a lot of kids really falling short at home in terms of again meeting their basic needs: food, water, clothing, school supplies. I've always been an advocate for kids that are in that situation. So when we can partner with the food pantry and help us in that way to support students, it's just it's just incredible. It's an incredible feeling. Just being able to get more stakeholders involved in schools like the food pantry, kids will win. So I've experienced quite a bit of success in that area in the last 33 years, and making sure kids are winning in that way.
I love that. Kids will win. That's what we're trying to do here. We're trying to tell more people about what we're doing to get more people involved to help more kids win. So you're helping us do that right now. So thank you.
No, thank you.
You've already kind of talked about the changes you've noticed in students. And books, do you want to talk at all about the importance of the books that are received at all? I know Deborah answered a little bit there.
Oh, I can just a few things that, we know it's important in terms of building student vocabulary, that they start reading as early as possible. Just due to the pandemic, we haven't seen a lot of students engaging in reading. They're either reading using their technology. We prefer that they read books, chapter books and novels. So I just looked at our STAR test scores. They are incredible. I mean, they have gone up tremendously because students are reading here on this campus. I can't speak for other campuses, but they are engaging in the books that were donated. I have a teacher that's my next door. Her name is Miss Meacham, and she was Teacher of the Year this year. And I love the way she pushes reading. And I think Deborah spoke about how these books were donated to these classrooms. And the kids, the test results that we're seeing are off the chart compared to the previous 2 years. So it has had a very, very significant impact on student learning and increasing reading levels.
Yay!
Yes. Yes.
So important. And I have a 10-year-old daughter that's just wrapping up 4th grade, and she's not a reader, and every day it's a struggle. I was an English major. I'm a reader, so I'm like, you have to read. You have to do it. But I'm so glad to hear that. That's wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. Yes. Okay, so just in general, well, you've already answered why it's important to have these pantries around everywhere, right?
Yes.
Do you want to speak on feminine hygiene products and why that's important?
Well, I know I have very little interactions with female students in that way. when they are in need, I can say I feel good that I can refer them to either my secretary or Ms. Denman, and their needs are met. Never have I experienced where a student said, Mr. Crook, well, I did what you asked. I went to check on this with the person and they didn't have it. I mean, 100% of the time we're able to take care of that need. So I'm just grateful that we have that available for students on our campus.
Perfect. Well, you've answered so many wonderful questions. Do you have any other stories or about impact or anything else that you'd like to share with us?
Not necessarily a story, but just want to stress the importance of having other stakeholders in this venture here with working with students and K-12 schools. It is critically important. I worked at a school as a principal of middle school called Cullen Middle School, and it was in a very dangerous neighborhood, and my heart just really went out to those students. I stayed there 8 years, and the most success I had with students in that situation was when I had a bunch of stakeholders, community members, business partners, and charitable organizations that were willing to come in and help me address those severe needs of students. So I just know that is the important piece. I hope more people understand that it takes a village, and it's not just a village of educators, it's a village of non-educators as well to get this done. So that's all I wanted to share.
Thank you so much. You guys are so awesome. I think that you've covered so many great things. This is wonderful content for us to share and hopefully get more people involved and to join our village, right?
Yes.
Well, if that's, so Maya, did you have anything else? Or, I mean, I turned my camera on, but I think we covered a lot.
I just want to say that was perfect, and congratulations, Mr. Crook, on 33, almost 34 years.
Yeah.
And your almost retirement.
Thank you so much. I'm excited.
I bet. Well, thank you. Again, we cannot thank you enough to be able to work together to help the students. Like, we're so honored to be part of that. So thank you for taking the time. You guys are so awesome. And we did it in 34 minutes.
All right. Nice.
Deborah, thank you so much. You guys are wonderful. I hope you have a wonderful weekend and a great end of the year.
Thank you. It was so nice meeting you, ladies. Thank you for giving us this opportunity.
Yeah.
Yes.
And I have to say this. I love Ms. Denman. Ms. Denman is just awesome. She is a strong advocate for our students. She works relentlessly to make sure their needs are met. I've never worked with someone like her in her capacity as a wraparound specialist. So, Ms. Denman, I'm proud of you and the work you're doing.
Oh, thank you, Ms. Crook.
That's so sweet. Well, it was a pleasure to meet you both. Again, thank you so much, and have a great rest of your day and weekend.
Okay.
Thank you, ladies. You too.
Bye.
Take care. Bye.
Bye-bye.